I'm sitting up, I'm either swinging it sideways in fourth or I'm doing it nicely in third, but I can't, they're about the same pace either way.
Yeah. So, how about for either a penalty or a no penalty?
Yeah, you've got the
when they brought out the update that you could just go over that a little
that hairpin, so turn 2, you're simply going, is that third or second? The second is away to 5. Yeah. Third
Vertical breathing.
Yeah.
How much practice have you had around this, Mike?
12 laps.
12 laps.
About the same, Mike. I think you're about
That last one and the first one.
How hot's it your way?
It's last I've seen it was about 23.
It's nice and there. Nice. Oh god, the dog. Ah, the dog. Shush. No. Oh. Get in, quick.
Get up the line.
Comes next day.
Hello and welcome.
Well,
I'm Adam Monan, and today we're live streaming round 3, the penultimate round of the CLIO Cup Sunday series. Let's get into the minor details. So the track of choice for today's round is the Red Bull Ring National Circuit. So first qualifying session will start in 10 minutes time. Don't take notice of the time on your screen right there. We've got 3 10-minute qualifying sessions, and accompanying those is 3 11-lap sprint races. So let's have a look at the drivers that we have on the grid. So there we have Angry Old Fella in the number 24. Just trying to get this slider going automatically. There we go. Alright, so Angry Old Fella in the number 24. And we got Birched Up in the number 17. Now, he had some pretty good pace last week. I'd expect that to be the same, but unfortunate for him, he had a bit of issues. Extra 666 in the number 4 for Team JAA Brakes. He's been reasonably consistent. Josh 8686176 hasn't been on the grid so far. Still waiting on confirmation on whether he's going to be racing tonight, but we'll find out. And we got Machapo 8. I mentioned in practice last night that he's got a new steering wheel, so should be pretty new for him. Morningstar Mike, one of our three of the championship contenders, separated from the top by only 3 points. Nath, same with him, another one of our championship contenders, 2 points behind Pointy, so it's extremely close between those three. Frilltron MX5, he hasn't been on the grid so far, I don't think he'll be on here today. Wait and see. And then we've got Pointy 74, our championship leader. Will he come out of the penultimate round as the championship leader still? And then we got Scraffy. He'll be driving the number 82, which you see on screen right there.
Make it or don't answer to attending, and you know.
So we'll have a look at the leaderboards really quickly. So we got Pointy 74 on top with 92 points. And we got Nath on 90 points, 2 points behind Pointy. And we got Morningstar Mike occupying the third position with 89 points. So the top three separated by just 3 points. And we go further down. This is the old championship leaderboards. It should be Angry Old Fella on 78 points in P4. P5, Extra 666 equal with Birched Up, so both on 74 points, equal 5th. Black Wildcats should be one position down, so Machapo should have Black Wildcats placed there, and he should be on about 60 odd points. And Black Wildcats is still on that 56 points. And then we got Scraffy in 9th on that 41 points that says right there, and then Brad with the 37 points. Now we'll get to the live scenes. So I've got the contenders up on screen right now. You can have a look at the stats as it stands. Just trying to get some of these off. So there are your 3 contenders with their key stats. So we got Pointy with 3 race wins, and we know that he got those 3 race wins in a row. He's had 4 top 5s, and his average finishing position is 2.6, and that will be a result of the last race in round 2 last week. Decided not to qualify, and a lot of misfortunes played out in that race. So then we have Nath. Quite unexpected stat right here, but he's on 0 wins, and he sees himself 2 points behind the championship lead. But he's been reasonably consistent. He's had 3 second placings, and I don't think he's been below a top 5. So every race he's been in the top 5, average finish of 3rd position. So he's on the podium every race. And then our last contender at this stage, Morningstar Mike. Hasn't got a win yet, but he was pretty close to getting one last week. Another reasonably consistent driver with 5 top 5s and an average finishing position of 3.2. So those are your key stats for the contenders. We'll have a look at Angry stats. We know he joined the grid last week as a debutant, and it's safe to say that he had a really good debut as well. We added a couple of the points up to his tally, so the week before he couldn't get or receive the invite, so I gave him points for that because I did send out invites. So he has 3 top 5 to his name and an average finishing position of 5.4. And we got Birched Up. Like I said, probably misfortunes in last week's event, but he sees himself with 1 solitary top 5. I do expect to see him firing in this event. He's going to try to keep his championship hopes alive with a few podiums this week, I would expect. Averaging finishing position 6.2. Then we got Machapo 8. Yeah, been reasonably unfortunate for him so far. He's going to be looking to stamp his championship chances heading into the final round, but his averaging finishing position is 8. Then we got Scraffy. Now, he was a debutant last week as well. No top fives. His highest finishing position is 6th, and his averaging finishing position is 7.33. So be looking to improve those statistics there this week. Then we have Black Wildcats, another debutant last week, and he got his maiden win in the last race in a fierce battle against Morningstar Mike. And so if you didn't see that video last week, be sure to watch that. As pretty intense battle. So in his debut event, he got 3 top 5s, so he pretty much clean sweep top 5s in the last round, and he has an averaging finishing position of 2.33. And last up, we got Exorcist 666, another one of our consistent top 5 finishes, I would say. We've had 5 races. He's had 2 top 5s, and the rest of them he's narrowly missed out on the top 5. So reasonably good stats for him, but he'll be looking to punch those stats further up to the elite end. He has averaging finish position of 6.2. So that's a quick run through of the driver's stats. I'm going to have to send out a couple more invites, so just bear with me here. So we got Scraffy joining us. We expect about 4 more. So my chapo's up and on. It's good to see. Hopefully Birch rocks up. Just give a couple invites to guys that haven't joined the grid yet. See if we can get a bigger grid than last week. If not, we'll run with what we've got, and we'll still put on a magnificent show, I'm sure. 3 championship contenders against each other's throats. They're not going to give in this week. They're going to want to have the advantage heading into the last round. Now I've got to send out one more invite.
Oh, I'm aboard.
There we go.
Couple more.
Alright. So we got 5 minutes. So let's have a look at how the drivers will be scoring points. If you haven't tuned into this series before, so basically every position is separated by 1 point each. So as a result, we have a closely fought championship battle at the top, and I guess it shows on the leaderboards right now the top 3 separated by 3 points. So first 20, and every position down 1 point below the position above, and you can get a minimum point score of 5 in each race. So you definitely got to be scoring points in these races. If you have a reasonably dodgy race, you're not going to lose too much points to the leaders. It's only going to be, you know, around the 8 to 9 point mark if you're around that top 10 mark. But as long as you stay consistent, you could keep the points within your reach and not have it as an unrealistic championship punch. So I've got up a poll as well. I think it's up on screen now. So at the end of this round, if you'd like to participate in this vote, basically who was your standout performer for the round. How do you vote? You type in the number next to your favourite driver's name. So for example, Pointy, you type 2 on the chat on Twitch, and that vote will go through. And same with everyone else, you type the number in and that vote will go to them for that poll. So we'll go to the main scene, see how we're tracking with drivers. So we're waiting on 3 more. I'll send out another lot of spam invites, but we should have 9 on the grid. So I don't know if Birch is going to join us, but Wait and see. Just bear with me here. Hopefully we can get a couple more drivers. Oh, something went wrong there, sorry. Just got wrong hotkey set at the moment, so that would have been because of that. So we got 3 minutes. Once that 3 minutes is up, we'll get right into the first quali session. And then after that 10 minutes is up, we'll get straight into the race and see how the drivers are tracking off of turn 1. Alright, so we've got less than a minute until we start. Hopefully the guys join mid-session. So we'll get this underway. Hopefully a few of them join mid-session. But I did state that it starts at 6:30. So we'll be having a clear look at who the early benchmark drivers are at this track.
Alrighty.
You'd expect the top 3 contenders to be well and truly up there, but I reckon there might be a bit of a shake-up in terms of what you'd think the usual grid is tonight, because this is such a short track and such a fast-flowing track that there's barely any technical corners. The only technical part of this track is that sector 2 bit, and maybe the last sector. You might have a bit of trouble there. So we're in pit lane. We're on board with Pointy. So we got a pit lane violation from the Chapo. Grid place penalty for him heading into race 1. Not a good way to start. So we see Pointy right there warming up his tyres early. Got a chase view. So we're on board with our championship leader. 3 race wins. He's going to be looking to add to that tally today. He's really trying to break these tyres in. And he's doing it pretty fast as well. Ahead of him, he's got Scraffy. He might be looking for a slipstream here. It's definitely a lot of gain.
Yeah, not me.
Definitely a lot of gain down the main straight. Looks like Scraffy
It's only taken
ahead
me
of
a year or
him.
so. I've learned
Have a
not to
little
speed
drift.
there now.
So Machapo letting Scraffy by it. Might have to get out of Pointy's way here. I don't know. We'll have a look. First lap isn't a true indication of what the true pace will be because your tyres are still cold on this opening hot lap. Scraffy going a bit wide, narrow with entry. Is he gathering it up? He's probably lost a lot of time through that section. Pointy just going ahead with usual business. So Pointy's going to try get the draft of Scraffy and hopefully get a couple temps down the main straight. Scraffy with the slide and Pointy following. So Pointy's in the draft here. And that's a 57.8. Now, I did say in last night's practice that I'd expect to see a 57 flat, maybe even the 56s, which will be world record pace. So we'll go on board with Machapo. He'll be on a hot lap right now. So I don't think that last lap would have been a reasonably good lap to start the lap because he didn't get to his top end speed earlier on down the main straight.
Thanks, Dave, for letting us pass.
So he's been followed by Scraffy, looking to get a gain through the draft back there. Now this has been Machapo's struggle section in Sector 3. He's keeping it clean right now. I don't know if that's not invalidation. He's still got a good chance to improve. It's usual not to see a driver's lights on, but what does that do for him? Not an improvement. So we'll go on board with Angry, who seems to have reasonable pace to bring up to the top end. So he's entering Sector 3, heading in the turn 5. Letting the rear go out, catches it, but would have lost a tiny bit of time using turn 6 as a slingshot. It's very crucial that you keep your mid-corner speed as high as possible. Thanks for the follow, DJ Q-Tip. Well appreciated. Alright, so Angry didn't improve. We'll have a look earlier on in this lap. We'll try get some scenes for Morning Star Mike. So we'll go roof view. See if he can keep it clean through the last sector this time. That's where all the time is gained for these drivers, because it's an extremely hard section to get right. Even though it looks simple, the car doesn't want to stay planted through that section. Just put it that way. You lose a lot of traction. And in the meantime, Pointy has scored a 57 flat, and that would, I would assume, put him straight the pole position for race 1. Angry with an improvement, 58.198. But if you're looking to gain a tiny bit of ground on Pointy to show his championship contender status. Going slightly wide. Go on board with Morningstar Mike, who is at turn 6. Alright, let's see what we have in terms of telemetry So he's not reaching the top speed. I would say you can probably maximise through that sector, but reasonably clean through turn 1. Does he brake early? Yes, he does. Takes a wide approach and then a narrow entry. Oh, probably going out slightly bit wide there with a bit of understeer. He's keeping the car planted. He's trying to keep the traction in the rear tyres. Trying to keep his mid-corner speed up through that sector, and he should reach the top speed around 180. Yep. Taking it easy through to the technical sector 3. Going to use turn 6 as a slingshot here. Probably didn't carry enough mid-corner speed there, but it should be a reasonable lap time. It should be an improvement. It is, but not a grid position improvement. So in the meantime, Machapo goes P4 with a 58.9, and it looks like Angry and Pointy in the pits.
Hey, sorry about that, man. Fuck.
Well,
Just
a
watching you
bit of
go,
carnage with
"Oh, this is gonna
Exorcist
be
here. I don't know what happened before. Something must have went wrong
Little
for
crossed
him to
up
be in the
and
wall.
crossed out and
Yeah, they're good at that, these things.
That can be a handful.
Alright, so this should be a hot lap.
they certainly can.
Really needs to maximise the braking zone into turn 1. He's got to give it a wide approach and a narrow entry so he can keep that mid-corner speed consistent throughout the corner. So he's hit the apex. He probably didn't use as much of the exit curb as you'd like, but looking clean. And ahead we've got Pointy. He's looking to improve on that 57 flat. He's taking it pretty easy through turn 5, heading to turn 6. Didn't get enough of the inside curb, but considering his time, he should definitely improve. Should be in the 59s. Well, he did improve, but only by 100. So it's a bit unusual for Exorcist. We know he's a very consistent driver. He's going to have to push harder. He's just going to have to push it here. He's really trying to keep the 4 tyres on the ground through the second sector. Trying to reach that top speed of about 180, 185. Brake just before the 50 marker. Probably use turn 6 entry curb a lot better this time, and we should see him in the 59s. And there we go, a 59.5, but no improvement in terms of grid position. So we'll go on board with Pointy for this lap. This will be the last lap for the drivers, obviously, with the timer counting down under 20 seconds. So Pointy has one more attempt at a 56 caliber time. Now, I had a look at what the world record was the other day, and it was around the 56.5 mark. So you got to give it the Pointy. He's doing it in a default setup car, so probably not the favourable conditions for the car, but he's doing very good to contend for that world record lap time. Let's see what it is.
9/10 up in the
No improvement.
final quarter.
So we'll go on board with Angry. He's got one more attempt to challenge Pointy. Machapo's officially done as well. He's in pit lane, and he'll be starting P5.
Oh, man.
Scruffy's in pit lane, but he could still lose that P3 from Morningstar Mike and Exorcist if they improve.
Within 1 second.
That's gonna be
Really
a good race.
attacking the last corner in Angry. It's an improvement, only by 2/10, but still a reasonably good lap time. So as it stands, we got Pointy P1 with a 57 flat, awesome time. Angry with a late charge, getting in the 57s, very good lap time from Angry. So he sees himself in second. Scruffy in third, the standout performance from him, but keep in mind we don't have 3 drivers on the grid for this race that would usually be here. And we got Machapo says right there P4, but keep in mind he's got that one grid position. He'll be starting P5 and swap with Morningstar Mike, who'll be starting P4. And Exorcist in P6. So let's get this grid start underway. So there we go. Grid Pointy at the pointy end.
After snapping back and forth on that corner.
Oh, mate, I tell you what. My thumb's hurting.
I was watching it, I'm going, what the fuck?
So we'll see how the drivers fare here.
Talking about the incident on turn 2.
Yeah.
I just went by and I was like, what the hell? What's happened here?
So the drivers having a
Everything.
friendly banter
He's
here.
going left, right, left, right, left, right. Holy fuck.
I've got the speed wobbles.
So apparently the pole is
Just
closed.
imagine the in-car view of the steering wheel just fucking ripping to the right, ripping to the left.
Hands coming off everywhere.
Thumbs being
So
wrapped up on the middle.
we shouldn't be too far away from green light action here.
Elbow slapping the door trim.
I think we got a minute to go.
I was waiting to pick a
Latest.
side and I picked the wrong side.
So here we go. About to start. Pointy got his lights on. So is Morningstar Mike. Here we go. Green lights. And I think Scruffy with a... Oh, we got a bit of... I think he's got a drive through here. Scruffy's got a drive through, but he'll be leading at turn 1. It'll be up to him when he serves that drive through, but a bit of a nudge from Pointy. Doesn't need to fight Scruffy right now because he's provisionally P1. He's got to keep the guys behind at bay. So he's got a lot of pressure from Angry here, and Morningstar Mike joining the party here. Oh, got to be careful here with the racecraft. Scruffy's got to keep it careful. He's officially out of this fight earlier on, but he's going to look to recover that lost time through that drive-through. So Pointy will be leading after the first lap. Then we got Angry, Morningstar Mike, the Chapo, and Exorcist. And Scruffy serving his pit lane penalty. It should be about 22 seconds down around that point. So we're officially on lap 2 of the first 11 lap race. We'll go on board with Morningstar Mike on chase view, and we'll see how this battle's going to unfold from the rear.
It's the only way, mate.
So Angry trying to make some ground as well as Mike, and the Chapo not far behind Morningstar Mike either, and then we got Exorcist with P5.
Slow down in these things, you might as well put that through the pits. I'll just take my medicine.
So as I predicted, Scruffy with 23 seconds behind the lead. He's going to be looking to make some ground back, because we know he needs to get some good results in this round to stay in championship contention. He needs to be within 59 points to be a mathematical chance. And right now, as it stands, 51 points plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 55 points behind the lead in the championship, provisionally. So he's going to have to gain some ground here. A bit of a mistake from Angry. Is Morningstar Mike going to make the most of that? He's going to try set him up. It's going to be in his slipstream down the main straight. And Pointy with some extraordinary pace earlier on. Last lap was a 57.4, so further cementing his dominance at the top. Now, Morningstar Mike, reasonable exit through turn 6. Still half a second down, so he's got to set him up earlier in this lap. Going back to second, quite unusual with a lot of curb use as well. See how far Machapo's behind. He's still reasonably close to this podium pack. He'll be looking to get his first podium today, I'm sure of that. Exorcist a bit further behind, then Scrappy losing a lot of time out of the last couple of laps, sees himself 27 seconds behind the lead of the race. So we'll go back on board with a battle that's starting to heat up. Angry with a bit of mistake through turn 5. Morningstar Mike not making the most of that opportunity. So very late on the brakes with Morningstar Mike here. And it looks like his pace is off par with the two guys ahead of him. He's not making any ground. And looks like Angry, even though he's making slight mistakes, he's still punching his way through, trying to make some ground on Pointy. Now, Scrappy's been exceeding track limits. I think, no, that would have been the last session, sorry. Oh, big slide here, big slide. Now, who was that? That was a massive slide. And I think that was Angry, because he's 3.5 seconds behind Pointy now. So, Pointy got no pressure whatsoever.
Well, that's
So,
handy.
I like the
Thanks,
sound.
Mike.
got a handy
I like
lead
the sound
here.
of the chaos up there.
So, Exler's trying to make some ground.
Organised chaos.
Scrappy just trying to keep it clean,
Never
keeping the
slowed
car
down
on the
before.
track. So
Yeah,
we'll
we
go
got
back
shown
with
before.
our leaders.
And all
So
tyres on the
Morningstar
fucking stuff.
Mike trying to gain some ground. He's looking to have some consistent lap times. His last lap was a 58.8, but Angry's was 2 tenths quicker.
So
So
Chapo's catching up with you,
Yeah,
Mike.
he's
Bit of
catching with you,
pressure.
Anna.
still
Let's
losing
do that,
out.
let's do that.
The drivers are having some friendly banter here. Machapo starting to get on Mike's tail.
can't
So
see shit.
this
I
could
have
be
to
a
wait for a
freeway battle
replay.
for second. And the pace is reasonably consistent between these three. Pointy just in a league of his own in P1. Oh, is that a corner cut? We'll find out, but it shouldn't be. We'll let the project card system deal with that. And Morningstar Mike starting to bring the pressure to Angry. So Angry under extraordinary amounts of pressure. This is the sort of stuff we had last week with Mike. So he's going to look for redemption, not winning that race last week. He's going to want to try punch his way in the second spot here. But Angry held his position, held his line. It's all fair racing. And Morningstar Mike probably went a little bit wide in turn 5. So he's in the slipstream still, but still 5 tenths away from Angry. He needs to gain the ground because we've got 4 laps to go. We're on lap 8, so as long as Pointy keeps it straight, he'll be our race winner. So we've got Machapo a further second behind this pack, and he'll be looking to gain that ground heading into the final couple of laps to challenge for his first podium.
Out tonight with daylight savings.
Oh yeah, with you.
Yeah. It's 7 o'clock. Everyone will log on and go, "Hey, I'm ready," and we'll just go, "Ha ha."
Yeah, we're done.
We'll go, "Ha ha." Points already gone, fellas.
I got every single lap a 57. Every single one of them.
Hate you.
Yeah, a bit quiet.
Here, Pointy there, every single one of his laps, 57. That is
58.1's
extraordinary
been my
pace, right?
And now he's in
That's
the 57s.
qualifying pace for some of
There
these
you go.
mid-tier guys. So that's extraordinary
Welcome to the
pace
club.
from Pointy. Morningstar Mike with a couple crucial mistakes. So he's got to minimise those mistakes to gain any ground on Angry. Angry's last lap was a 57.6, and that's the first lap that Angry has beat Pointy. So that last lap, Angry gained some ground on Pointy, but still a 7-second lead. Probably not enough time to get that lead back. Got to bring the pace earlier on, unfortunately. But good performances all around. Exclusion of Scraffy. He's had a lot of trouble with jump starts so far, Scraffy has. We know, I think he had a couple last week. So in terms of jump start numbers for Scraffy, that's his third jump start in this
Done the
series.
same thing.
Now, Machapo
Let's roast it.
giving Mike the pressure, but not chucking it down the inside. And Mike's going wide. Mike's going wide.
Yeah.
It's going to be too wide heading into sector 2.
You running stable or loose?
Machapo
Loose.
had the let off a little bit there.
Loose is always fast.
Is he going to send it down the inside, or is he going to set him up for turn 1? Find out.
Well, I think loose is
Next
always
lap
faster.
will be the last lap of the
Depends on
race.
what track I find.
So,
Yeah.
Mike going wide here. Mike going
Not
wide.
stable.
And that will be a slowdown penalty.
Yeah,
He
I
went
wouldn't
over
mind
in
running
that
stable
red
next
section
round,
bit.
probably.
So, we'll keep an eye on
I
that.
reckon it's not too bad.
So, we'll have a look at the timing, see what penalties we're dealing with. So, at this stage, Machapo doesn't have to
So I
overtake
haven't did any practice with
Morningstar
loose,
Mike.
so
And he could see himself in
Yeah,
front
I
of
think about
Angry as
challenge
well.
for a change
So,
now.
maybe he wants to get this
I like the
overtake
challenge.
done
the
to
challenge.
Yeah.
get that second spot. Gone a bit wide. Got to keep that second gap within. Oh,
no.
Mike
Oh, look out.
with an uncharacteristic
It's on.
mistake there.
Chapo's after him.
Here we go. Last sector. Machapo's got to keep it clean. He doesn't want to set the rear out and be in the wall. He just has to keep it with him. Probably a narrow line here. And is that going to be a slowdown? Is that going to be a slowdown? But it will be Machapo with his first podium. And those are your unofficial results. So we'll go back. Exorcist still on the main straight, getting the checkered flag.
Chapo got him for the penalty.
So, so we got Black Wildcat joining. It's unfortunate for him he missed out the first race. So, unofficial results. Pointy first, Angry second. Congratulations to Machapo in his first podium finish.
Oh, jeez.
Unfortunate scenes for Mike, who sees himself in P4. And Exorcist 666 in P5 and Scrappy in P6.
Well done.
So
I just realised
we're
I
going to
chose
send
the
out
top
those
part.
invites to the drivers that missed out on the first race, because
Stick with it.
daylight saving times is sort of screwing everything up at this stage. So
It's actually me and Point. Me and
probably
Point
unexpected circumstances here. So
We're supposed to
got an additional
in my
driver
car?
in Black
I'm on
Wildcats.
24.
be. Yeah, you're 24. I'm 25.
Hey, Ricky here.
How you going, mate? Sorry.
You come, mate?
Late.
So we should have a couple more drivers hop on here. We'll wait for Nath and
And it's all.
Birch.
Check it out on Meadowman's YouTube channel.
He does a good job. I tell you, he does a fucking good job.
That's awesome, man. It's wicked to watch.
He really fucking does a good job, man. All the
He
shit
does.
he's done this week, you know,
Yeah,
that's why I'll show up for the race.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to send us a link, Blake.
If he's going to put that much effort in, mate,
That's
it's
what
worth a
makes.
watch, boys. Like,
It
you
is,
go
man.
back later,
Really is.
it's worth a watch. He commentates through the whole fucking thing.
It gives everybody.
So,
it gives everybody
here the drivers
spare
having the
time and
discussion.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone gets
Starting to
one
enjoy
shot.
this series.
Even
The
during
sound
the
of it.
week,
We've got
during the
Bert.
week, he'll put up a rundown of the track.
So we'll see what
Fully worth a watch, man.
if Nathan's going to come on. I'll send him one more invite
It's great.
and I'll get this race started.
Mate,
So we've got 5 seconds until we're underway into
He'll
quali
give you
2.
tips as well that you can take away.
Yeah, he puts up the stats of what the stats are and
Yeah, they're always
awesome.
up on time.
what's your
which is good.
percentage of winning and
Well, that'd be fucking 0 for me.
God, that would, you can hear that all in the background.
I'll tell you what's crazy. You must
It's
have
pretty
the
funny.
worst luck of all time for jump starts.
yeah,
It's because I'm trying to get it like exactly
perfect.
like that light goes.
There's a
Yeah.
fine line in
Yeah.
these.
I've done it before, and I've done it in the snow. So I don't know how I did it in the snow and can't do it in perfect weather.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Will Smith.
I actually just wait for the green.
So, quali 2 action.
Wait for the green light.
I've had the
And then there's a second delay.
And look twice to make sure it's green and not
So we'll
orange.
see what drivers
Yeah, so I'm holding my go. Hang on,
counts
it's not on
first.
green yet. Oh yeah, hang on. Here we go.
There we go.
I'm going to have to mute some of these guys.
Makes 2 of us.
Alright, let's try this stable thing and see what happens, eh?
Alright, so the first 3 to pounce is Birch, Black Wildcats and Machapo. So we'll stay on board with Machapo, who will have the slipstream from Birch. Unless Birch is given that honour to Machapo here.
And Ricky, did you get confused with daylight savings, mate?
Yeah, mate, I was an hour out.
So we'll go trackside,
Exactly,
see how he
yeah.
gets this
Funny about that.
settled through turn 5, turn 6. Rear sliding out and
Yeah, I thought the phone did
probably
it automatically,
overcorrected slightly there. Hopefully we don't have carnage from behind.
It'll knock you 30
We got a driver. We've got Black Wildcats
Phone's let me
entering the
down
scene, and he'll be on an official fast lap.
but- Oh, left, right.
Oi, we've got a bit of carnage here.
Are you following that? So
Black
again?
Wildcats trying to get the slipstream
No,
and
I'm not sure
may
it
chuck
is.
it down the
On the
inside.
straight there.
Don't usually see racing and qualifying, but with the Clios, it's sort of bound to happen. See in the background, Machapo catching a rear slide there. Black Wildcats with a wide entry, starting to bring it in narrow. Trying to maximise his mid-corner speed and corner exit, and he's off. He's off.
Twitchy little.
Now, was that hindered there? Was that hindered?
Cold tyres, mate.
Cold tyres. There, you hear it there? Cold tyres.
Oh, Birch Up's in now. Yeah. We
So,
got half a field.
so I think this lap's invalid for Birch. So we'll go on board with Scraffy, who will be on a hot lap.
I want to see that on the replay. I just drifted around the outside of you when you were drifting.
So Scraffy trying to hold it up through sector 3. Using turn 6 as a slingshot. And he's right behind Exorcist in the number 4 car ahead. And he should be in the slipstream. Angry with a 59.7 to open quality accounts. And Scraffy is on pole with a 59 flat. But with the previous form of Pointy, I'll expect that time to be taken off pretty quick.
I think you're right,
So-
Pointy. It's nowhere near as snappy.
Pointy, it should go to the
Stay
top.
Yep.
Nah, must have been an out lap, so we'll stay on board with Pointy here, who will be looking to improve on that 57 flat last qualifying session. We want to get in the 56s. Keep in mind that is world record pace.
Testing it was around here, it's slightly faster and stable.
Yeah, which is unusual. That's definitely quicker, for sure.
So Pointy keeping it clean, almost entering the third sector. We'll see his braking zones. Very smooth on the brake, very smooth entry. Pointy. Oh, uncharacteristic mistake there from Pointy. Should be an improvement, but in the meantime, Scraffy has an improvement, and Pointy pips him. And if it wasn't for that overcorrection at turn 6, I would say he would have gotten the 57s. So we'll go on board with another race winner in Black Wildcats. Still yet to get below the minutes, so looking to improve on his lap time. Now, what is this? Is there any movement up the grid? So Machapo punches in a time, but it's obviously an outlap. 122.4, and Black Wildcats with an improvement. He's got a 58.8, and he sees himself in P4. Scraffy, go on pole again. So it is a game of roulette here between Pointy and Scraffy, exchanging blows. So we'll go on board with Angry. He's letting the Chapo by. We'll go on board with him. You know he's on a quick lap. He really wants to get in the 57s. He's been so close. He needs a 57 to get at least second on the grid. And where does that put him? Puts him P5, 59.3. Good effort. Got to look to improve this next lap. But it's a respectful time from Chapo. And we see further movement from Birch going up in the P5, exchanging spots with Machapo. 59.2. Another good lap time there. Morningstar Mike really struggling, but as I spoke too soon, and he sees himself up in the P3 with a 58.5.
You know, I'm not Scotty. I can't give it any more, Captain.
So, does he have that one extra tenth left in him? He needs to start on the front row if he's to keep this championship lead from Pointy at bay. So Pointy gained 3 points on Morningstar Mike the previous race. And I forgot to get the results last time around, but by memory it was Pointy, Angry, just writing it down for my reference, Machapo with that P3, and Mike, and Exo, and then Scraffy. So I've got that down for my reference. So I forgot to put that down. So was that an improvement for Mike? It was not, and Scraffy's been pipped 2 positions.
What are you doing, Ricky? Fuck, that gave me a slowdown.
Oh,
Sorry,
so by the sounds of it, Angry's got a slow down here. And it's an invalidated lap time. Does Scraffy have an improvement left in him? Gone a bit wide there, is that invalidation? No, it is not. This is going to be an improvement for Scraffy, and he sees himself pipped by Machapo, who's starting to bring his A game now. He's hungry for more, and no improvement from Scraffy. So we'll go on board with our flying car and Machapo at the moment. He's starting to improve his fortunes, and he's hungry for more. Exo in the pits. Still trying to improve and punch his way up the order.
Yeah, we'll get another one in for sure.
Get another lap in.
We'll get probably 2 in if you're quick.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a 57 for Machapo? It's looking very clean so far, and Pointy with the fastest lap in a 57.4. Still 4 tenths off his fastest lap, but should see himself on pole. No improvement from the Chapo, so we'll go on board with Angry, and he's about to finish this hot lap. Is that an improvement? No, it's not. So we'll stay on board because he's got the slipstream, and we've got a bit of carnage up ahead with, is that Black Wildcats? It is. Having to catch a slide there. I think it may have hindered Angry's time there. So we'll go on board with Birch, who's behind this carnage here. Starting to compress up right here in this little battle pack. How does he get this into turn 5? Not too much oversteer, maybe a bit of oversteer exit, but looking good. Not sure what the driver's setup choice is, but a lot of them, by the sounds of it, are running stable. So Machapo on the P2, and he's finally in the 57s. That's a very good time from him. And he sees himself on the front row battling it out with Pointy, heading in the race too. So is there going to be a change in grid slots here? Is this going to be our grid, or are we going to see changes? So Birch, Black Wildcats, I think, out. Angry's still got an opportunity to improve, and the Chapo's still got the opportunity to give a crack at pole position. So, what's this going to be for Birch? He will want at least a second row start. What's this going to be for him? So, looks like Machapo may hold on. And
You know what that means?
it looks like nothing changed in that last lap. So, Pointy first. Machapo, extraordinary performance for that qualifying session in second. Angry third. Black Wildcats fourth. Scruffy fifth. Morningstar Mike in sixth. Needs to gain a bit of ground there. Birch up in seventh. And Exorcist in eighth. So, we'll get to the grid. We have a 2-minute timer for the drivers to get out on track. We'll see how long it takes for them to get out. So we got an extra 2 cars for this race.
Times. Or within 2 seconds.
So we'll just wait for the drivers to ready up here. And Pointy in his usual spot, I'd say, in P1. And he's got his lights on.
Good luck, gents.
And
Good luck, fellas.
3 green lights. And we're underway. An even start by the whole field here.
You're in it.
We'll have a look at back of the pack. Chase view on Exorcist. See how it all unfolds. And there's a bit of contact in the mid-pack there with Scrappy, Black Wildcats, and maybe Angry and Machapo as well. So Pointy already with a decent margin in hand. So
Where the fuck do I need to get the place back to? I've given fucking 8 back.
oh, we got a bit of carnage here. A bit of a... Oh, no. Drivers going off everywhere.
Fucking give the place back. Fucking what for?
Just going to have to look eyes forward. Gain as much ground as possible. Scruffy taking it easy here. Angry down the inside of Morningstar Mike, and we got contact. They've tangled, and Scruffy making the most of the opportunity there.
Jesus Christ.
Where's Angry out of this? He's in pit lane. Angry is in pit lane. I don't know if that's by choice or...
Now I've got the mad bastards behind me.
So, Pointy with a 1.6 second lead. Machapo on second. Now what's happened here? We don't have Angry.
Flying into the pit. Speed.
Done. He got disqualified in Angry.
Do you remember there's a learner driver in front of you boys? Calm down.
So keep an eye on. So there seems to be decent gaps here. Birch going up in the P5 down the inside of
Oi,
XO.
Where'd you come from?
Trying to defend his position in the turn 5. Good racecraft from him. Birch trying to use turn 6 as a slingshot.
Hey! Fucking hell, Mike.
So we've got a
Jesus fucking
bit of
Christ.
chit chat in the background. Probably a few unfortunate early events happen, but just going to have to push forward, and the drivers are just going to have to get the best ground they can and gather as much championship points. So we'll go further up the pack. We're on board with Scraffy now.
Now you're flicking
Trying to
cones
gain
at me.
some ground on Black Wildcats here, which may have a penalty. May have a time. No, he doesn't have a time penalty, so it's all good for him.
Ooh.
So a bit of a wide entry there for Black Wildcats. Scraffy using as much as the inside curb as possible, and he's gaining. It's definitely risk versus reward through that last sector, and he's got his lights on. He's going to try bring the pressure to Black Wildcats here.
Good. Got him.
Black Wildcats with a lock-up, and Scraffy just missing him there.
Oh, Birch.
Having to take
No, you'll get a penalty
avoiding
there.
action. Scraffy's just going to have to keep it calm and composed here. Doesn't want to make a mistake. This could be a podium finish for him.
No, get round here, come on.
Apply the pressure, and that's when you'll see mistakes happen. So we'll see how far Mike's behind. So reasonable gap there, and Birch is right behind Mike. Exo's trying to get back
Mike, I've got
into
a
this
witch's
pack
hat
here as
stuck
well.
under the
So
carcass of you, mate.
battle's starting to heat up here.
Don't tell everybody
Scraffy
I won.
applying the pressure. Needs to stay in the slipstream down the main straight, otherwise he's going to lose too much. Now there's time being gained, but he's going to have to set him up later in this lap if
You're
he's to
clunking
do it.
away there.
He's pointing his nose down the inside, and that may be a slowdown. That may be a slowdown. Maybe not. He's still pushing on. We'll see how this... So, Birch is applying pressure to Mike now. Exo, I think, made a mistake. So, we're on board with Birch. Gap's sort of starting to extend for Mike now, so looking pretty safe. Same up ahead with Scraffy and Black Wildcats. And Machapo keeping the car straight in second. Could be a double podium finish for him. But in the meantime, Scraffy's got a decent exit out of turn 6 and looks to be making ground on Black Wildcats here. Showing the nose again, down in the turn 1. He's going to get a slowdown for that. That is definitely going to be a slowdown there. Still pushing on. Might take the beating for it. But up ahead, Chapo. So we've got Black Wildcat still there. I thought there was another car there. Scraffy with a little off.
Going everywhere.
I like that song.
So let's see if he can gain the ground back. Reasonably
now we've
consistent
got
lap
driving
times
music.
from these guys.
Oh, no.
Pointy with another qualifying pace type race pace. So
I spun and almost went in.
oh, Pointy spun, and it's invited Machapo into the action. So Machapo going to make the most of this opportunity here. Same as Black Wildcats, and Scraffy is right behind Black Wildcats. Black Wildcats going defensive in the turn 2. Scraffy trying to bring it on the outside, trying to do the cutback. Can he pull it off? Having to let off the accelerator, just following Black Wildcats around. Is he going to set him up in the turn 5? Now, Black Wildcat's putting his car, I guess, as wide as possible to put Scrappy off. Don't want to make a mistake through this section. We saw what happened earlier with Angry and Morningstar Mike. Scrappy are applying the pressure.
That was mine.
And in the meantime, Mike is gaining ground on these two, as well as Birch, Exo further behind. Chapo keeping that lead in hand with Pointy. So, really good pace from these two. Go back. Oh, Scrappy's got an overlap here. Is he going to chuck it down the inside? He does. He's going to have a slowdown, I reckon. Yeah, he's slowing down. And a mistake from Black Wildcats invites Scrappy back to the action. Scrappy is hungry. What's he got for us in the last sector? We've got to keep it clean here. And Black Wildcats with a bit of a wide approach. Might be lucky. Oh! Unfortunate for Scrappy there. He had to correct a mistake. So, Exorcist gonna get another position. Morningstar Mike down the inside of Black Wildcats, and Morningstar Mike trying to bring it back to Pointy. He's trying to keep this championship lead in hand. So it's very unfortunate for Scrappy. He's got good pace. Not translating to the scoreboard, and we're side by side again. Oh, that will have to be investigated there. So, unfortunate for Morningstar Mike. So, Birch, unexpected to see him up in the P3, but, you know, earlier on in the race, he would take it. He would take this opportunity. So, he's eating this opportunity up, and sounds like we... Oh, Exo off the track. Could invite Scrappy back into this fight.
Come on, Exo, hurry up. Yeah, you passed me at the end of the corner, mate.
So it'll be up to the drivers there if they want to put some complaints in about that.
Yeah, my derby.
Not going to deal with anything there unless they want it.
And look, no one's calling each other. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Oi, a lot of curb usage from these two. They've got to be struggling with the aero damage they have. Straight line speed will be pretty below par. Morningstar Mike trying to make the most of the mistake by Exo.
Driving home with one headlight.
Is he going to chuck it down the inside at turn 5?
Well, I'm watching you,
He's
Mike.
got an overlap. He's got an overlap, and he's got to make the move.
Left, right.
Exo trying to fight for position, and someone's drifted up ahead. Oh, bit of side-by-side contact.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No. Oh, no way. Where did Scrappy come from? Where did Scrappy come from? Where the hell did Scrappy come from all that?
Oh, Jesus.
That's racing, boys. That's racing.
That is definitely racing. You hear it there? That is racing. And Scrappy with a bit of a mistake. He's trying to hold on. I'm trying not to laugh, but that's got to be move of the century right there. And Exo almost rotated 360.
No, it's not.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't think it was.
Morningstar Mike really wanting to gather these points here. So after the completion of this, I'll get the references on screen for the leaderboards.
For that last 2 corners.
I can see a dive bomb happening here.
Oh, what's happened up ahead? Scrappy with a bit of a wide, and he might be penalised for that. So Pointy sees himself in first. And where did Exo come from? Where did he come from? That is another. Wow. Extraordinary stuff to close that race. So we've got Pointy in first once again. A Chapo with a double podium. Good race pace from him. Birch, really unexpected to see him up that high, but he's making the most of those opportunities. Well done to him on, I think, his first podium finish as well. Black Wildcats in fourth, Scraffy in fifth, Exo in sixth, Morningstar Mike in seventh, and Angry in eighth. And that is your finishing grid. So I'll get these leaderboards up on screen. Extraordinary stuff in that race there. I'm speechless for what happened. So, editing the leaderboard. So, just let me get all that up and we'll get that all done for your reference. So, I must go on the Google Sheets and change it all around. So give me a couple minutes and we'll get these points sorted.
The stewards will be very excited to.
Yeah, I hear him. Got a bit of an issue here. Getting into Google Sheets.
I missed all of that, but other than the chatter that was going on, I can guess that pretty much all the field tried to swap places at the same corner.
Yeah, Scraffy came out of nowhere.
We made that second last corner like.
So I'm having troubles here with Google Sheets, so we're just going to have to go with what we've got. And unfortunately, I can't bring the points on screen today. Action-packed stuff, as they say. I'll give Nath another invite, but this is last opportunity to gather some points.
You right there, Mike? You okay, mate?
Still trying to get over what happened, but it was pretty funny. I don't know where Scraffy came from, to be honest. Neither with Exo, with that last corner. Exo came out of nowhere as well. So, as I said, that's racing. Entertaining for you guys.
We're going to concentrate on one more, don't we?
We do it. I don't know if I will be able to.
Yeah, that's not going to fuck.
Gonna have to give your thumbs a bit of a massage, mate. In between the
Oh, fuck. I'll tell you. Jesus. I think my controller got bent.
Don't you hate when you find you turn the controller?
Starting to sound pretty funny.
I'm turning everything, my tongue, fucking everything.
Oh, stop it, please.
So we're on the third and final qualifying session for the penultimate round, round 3, and Pointy, Black Wildcats, and Scrappy the first to pounce. Then we got the Chapo on the background there, and I think we got Morningstar Mike behind him, or it might be Birch. So everyone out on grid.
That's how we slow Pointy down. Get him behind us and do that. Yeah. 3 wide.
They're trying to slow Pointing down here, but I'm sure that's just a bit of friendly banter.
That's where the fun is.
No, I'm not doing that shit again.
Yeah.
So we'll let the guys go through their usual business through the warm-up laps.
I hope Meadow Man was checking out that last race at the back of the field. He would have been pissing himself.
What are these clowns?
So we've got Angry in pit lane.
Fuck. This is going live on YouTube, boys.
Scruffy is going to be on his hot lap. Lights on. This is business for Scruffy. Quite 2 devastating races for him, but he's looking forward and trying to race on. But at this stage, his championship hopes are on a thread, so he's going to have to get a good performance here.
I knew when I was coming up behind Mike there was going to be fucking issues.
Scraffy's going to have to come, I think, at least 1 position within Pointy to stay in contention. So it's going to be do or die for him this race.
That Pointy just flew past me. Oh yeah, cool.
Got desperation stuff from Scraffy previous race. If you didn't tune in then, we had a 3-way battle and Scraffy came out victorious, but he came out of nowhere. So what's this going to be for the opening account for Scraffy? So a 58.5, and then we got a 57.4 from Pointy. So the usual two early qualifying kings, Scraffy and Pointy, fighting it out again. Black Wildcats further down with a minute flat. It's definitely got to improve. Is Scraffy going for another run here because he seemed to be a bit gentle on the accelerator. We'll stay on board for him for this last lap and then we'll go through the field. I don't know what Angry's doing. Might not be qualifying this race. But we know what happened last week with Pointy. He regrets it a tiny bit. Right, so is this going to be an improvement for Scraffy? He's had some good form as of late. He needs to be at the pointy end to start this race. He needs to be up there. It's an improvement. It is. It's a 57.9 from Scraffy. He is finally in the 57s. He joins the 57 driving squad. So, Pointy. Fastest lap of qualifying. 57 flat. He's going to look to get in the 56s here. Black Wildcats with an improvement. Sees himself up in the P3. Birch, P4. Morningstar Mike, P5. Exorcist in P7. No, P6, sorry. Chapo, P7. And then Angry in P8. But Machapo, he qualified up there in the last session. So I expect to see him with a benchmark time as well. So is this going to be an improvement for Pointy? May as well cement his name on spot one. And it's a 56.9. That is 4 attempts off world record pace. Keep in mind, that is in a default setup car. So if he was to run with a setup in trial, no doubt he'll beat that world record. So Rumble Black Wildcats, who's pipped Scraffy of P2. So Black
Jesus
Wildcats,
fucking Christ.
another 57 from Black Wildcats. 8 attempts behind.
Pointy, what the fuck, man?
Birch in P4. Is that Mike? Yeah, that's Mike.
Well done, mate.
Cheers.
Fucking hell.
So Birch sends it down the inside.
Oh, I bet you fucking did.
That's my best lap so far ever.
Congrats, mate. I'd need fucking 4 lie downs after that.
Oh no.
So
No, I had to get out of the
Yeah.
chair.
right back with some action. So Birch in turn 6, heading on to the main straight. Don't know if it's going to be an improvement. Wait and see. It's an improvement, not up by much, but it's an improvement. So we're on board with Morningstar Mike here, who's looking to change his qualifying form in this round. He's going to want to qualify near the front. So we'll stay on board with Mike here. Keep in mind he's one of our championship contenders. He's trying to bring the fight to Pointy heading into the last round. In the meantime, the Chapo goes up the P4 with a 58.4. And he'll see himself alongside Scraffy on the second row provisionally. Scraffy in pit lane, Pointy in pit lane. So we've got 3 minutes left in the session. 3 minutes 30 to be more exact. So this is an improvement for Mike. He's in the 58s and goes up a position. Jumps Angry in the P6. Exo about to finish a hot lap. See if this is an improvement for him. No improvement, but he'll be looking to challenge for a second or third row here. Looks to have been that lap, so we'll go on board with Angry here. He's got good form. He just needs to punch that time on screen. And we could see him on at least the second row if he puts a solid time together. Black Wildcats and Pointy. You could even put Scraffy in the equation here. These guys are punching out pretty quick times. So, Birch back in the P4. Morningstar Mike in P5. And Machapo's gone down 2. So, very close between those three. They're separated by 2 tenths. So, there's a lot on the line for these guys. And Angry out of the last corner. What will this be for him? 2 minutes left in the session, so he should at least get 2 more laps in. It's an improvement, but not grid position. So, Chapo about to complete a hot lap. Is this an improvement from the Chapo? It is not. So, Mike on the main straight. Is it enough to get that 10th on Birch? It is not. So Birch following. And no improvement from him either. XO. Should be an improvement. I didn't see the lap earlier on, but looked pretty clean out of turn 6. It's an improvement, but very slight improvement, so it's not going to see him up the order. Back on board with Scraffy, who wants to make ground, and we've got a disconnect here from the Chapo.
Oh, Christ almighty.
I don't know what happened there, but I cannot invite him at this stage. He should be able to use the same invite and hopefully get in and qualify for the grid. Some unusual circumstance there. So is this an improvement for Scraffy? Got 30 seconds to go. No improvement. Scraffy looking to get P2 away from Black Wildcats. So Pointy's parked it. He's know he's got pole, so he'll be watching on. Scraffy with a bit of a wide approach, narrow on entry, and then mid-corner speed through this section. It's all right.
That's where you got your momentum.
Looks like he's been that, so we'll go further up. I think we've got Birch and Mike, so you see these guys go over the line.
On the inside, there's that yellow medium strip. I try and get my wheels.
This is going to be an improvement for Mike.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Needs 1/10 out of this to jump Birch, who is following right behind Mike at this stage.
There's a fine line because you know.
No improvement,
Inside, you get
but there's an
too far outside, you're
so
go
disconnect from Machapo.
That's normally what I do, 2 wheels.
Yeah, but if you can get your wheels on either side of it, it grips it to the track.
Yeah.
Is Chapo back in? What's happening?
Oh,
Unfortunately, I can't invite him.
Looks like he just disconnected.
Yeah.
Is he back on?
So I'll have a quick look.
If he joins, he should still be able to get in, I think.
I don't think I've got a PSN message from Machapo.
No, but he won't be able to race.
No?
Because quali's done now. Once quali's done, that's it. Once 4 minutes is up into the quali, you can't get back in.
No.
The 4 minutes.
So it might be all over for Machapo here.
Fucking lap together, that one.
We'll try hold on as long as possible.
In the first sector.
fucking hell.
Well, not far behind. I'm 19-1, so.
What sort of packs are you using? Can I buy some?
I hear the drivers having some friendly banter, but
I've got all the British touring car fucking leagues trying to fucking snake me for their team and shit. And if I do that, I have to get
alright. So Machapo's trying to join.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
It's like, fuck, I'm keen, but I don't know if I'm that keen, eh?
Yeah, no.
I do love getting on and beating the pommies, but I love getting
Just
on and
gonna
beating the pommies at
message
the touring
Machapo
cars,
here.
I fucking hate it.
Good.
Oh, start, they got a 56. That's
So I'll continue this through.
It's a good stuff, yeah.
I don't
Lucky
think
last,
we're gonna see.
lads.
Staying out of,
Fuck's sake.
you're staying out of trouble back there, aren't you?
I'm going to try when I catch up with you.
You stay out of the way.
See if
what's
Machapo
that
gets
one?
into this.
That last one when we ran onto the straight, your fucking tyre was on my bonnet.
what's the next track? Next track's Alton Park, isn't it?
Alton Park, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Wow.
That's my favourite track. Favourite track of all time.
Favourite track. You heard that first from Pointy.
Oh, I've still got tears in my eyes for the last one.
And that's the short one, I think, as well.
So
Short one's the hard
it
one
looks
because if you
like
miss that little
Machapo didn't
left
manage
up-
to make
Yeah,
the grid.
Oh, it sends ya. Oh, good luck, boys.
So Pointy's got his
Yeah,
lights
like
on,
those.
the usual. Yeah, so Chapo missed the start.
I believe you need to be in gear to accelerate on the line.
We'll give him
Oh.
points because he was in the qualifying session. Scraffy trying to bring it the Pointy. So we'll go to the back of the pack on board with Angry to see all this action unfold. And he's setting himself down the inside of Exo. Exo turning in on Angry.
How the fuck does that work?
So Chapo
You have to
can't
You
spectate
have to
at
go
this
past Exo, I've
stage.
got to give you the place back.
Oh,
So I'm going to
what?
have
Really?
to send him something.
What the fuck? We didn't even do anything.
Send him the
you come
link
past,
through
mate.
YouTube.
You come past, mate. You go past. That's fucking bullshit. There you go.
Thanks.
Spare with me here. You're on board with Angry. Has a
Just
little
keep
bit of a
away from
drift.
Mike, okay? Just fuck's sake.
Hey, big
No,
fella,
I'm aiming
I'm
for
trying to
Mike now.
concentrate here. He'll hunt me down.
I'm hunting him down now. I owe him one for the last race.
So here we go. We're on lap 2. Scraffy in first. What has happened here? Scraffy is leading this race. This is unbelievable stuff. And Pointy is right behind Scraffy. We know what happened last week
Understatement.
between these two. But there's a lot more to play for this. And Scraffy is trying to keep his championship hopes alive in race 3 of round 3. What is he going to do here? Now, can't block earlier on. Pointy trying to find an opening.
It's a leisurely drive.
What's Scraffy going to do here? He's going to use it as a slingshot, but Pointy's got a better run. Scraffy can't come onto the track as aggressive like that. Got to keep in mind the other cars. So Scraffy trying to make amends after. That's alright, Machapo. I'll give you the points for 8th position, but I know you had pretty good pace and you could have challenged for another podium. It's unfortunate there. So at this stage, Pointy back up in the first. Scraffy following right behind Pointy. This pace has come out of nowhere for Scraffy. Behind him is Mike. We got Angry. Black Wildcats. It's pretty close this race. Exo a bit further back and Bert's in P7. And the Chapo will occupy that P8 and get points for this race. But because the qualifying session was under 3 minutes, I don't think there was any way he could join the grid. I'm not sure what would happen. So back on board with Scraffy. Losing a bit of time, the Pointy.
Whoa!
Pointy really attacking the curb at turn 1 and Scraffy gone slightly wide. So we're on board with Mike.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Scraffy's made a bit of a mistake. Heading into turn 2. Scraffy's trying to gather that back up. And Mike is trying to make the most of this opportunity. Might set him up for a turn 1 move. He sees himself 4 tenths behind Scraffy. Mike may lose a bit of time there, but Scraffy, he's going to get a slowdown. no doubt he's going to get a slowdown.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
He's just going to have to keep racing. And we've got a bit of an incident back here with Angry. Exo and Birch going to make the most of that opportunity. And we'll go on board with these two. Is Birch going to chuck it down the inside. Probably a bit too early on the brakes, but he's got it in. Got a bit of side-by-side panel rubbing.
All good, mate.
And exchanging positive words there. They're giving everyone else, each other the benefit of the doubt. But
Damage, Scaffy.
good move.
Scrappy.
And in the
Scrappy.
meantime, Scraffy has dropped back to P3. Still not done and dusted for Scraffy. I think he needs at least a second placing here to stay in contention. So Scraffy finished 5 positions behind the first race and 4. That puts him 9 points down. He'll be 60 behind if he comes in second. So
Yeah, just gave your rear the slightest little touch, Mike.
Yeah.
basically he can't win it on countback. So Scraffy's championship hopes will be officially done and dusted tonight.
You tried to chase me down.
Unfortunate stuff for him, unless something uncharacteristically goes wrong for Pointy. I can't see
Fucking tell me
Scraffy
about it.
gaining the ground on Pointy to challenge for that first position, but now he's got pressure from behind in Black
A little bit
Wildcats.
of Vaseline I stuck on the rear bar.
Guys back there are pretty far behind his
Yeah,
pack.
They all say.
Well, that lap that
Black
chased you
Wildcats following
Yeah.
every
57
movement
57
Scraffy does.
Oh, really?
Trying to send it down the
Yeah.
inside. He's gonna try to do it in the turn 1. Scraffy being a little unpredictable, and Black Wildcats has got the overlap here. So Scraffy's gonna have to give up the position, maybe do a cutback. Oh, we're side by side. Oh, we got a bit of contact from Scraffy drifting over.
I'm not looking. I want to keep pointy in my windscreen.
And Black Wildcats got the move done. We'll go back on board with Scraffy, who's not making it easy for Black Wildcats. And Black Wildcats goes out wide. Scraffy trying to... Oh, we got a bit of side-by-side contact.
Got 20 damage on me front.
So, Angry's got 20 damage on the bonnet. As you can hear that.
Oh, get fucked.
He's trying to circulate enough laps.
Slow down, in my heap of shit.
Got a few more slowdowns happening. Scraffy still in front of Black Wildcats.
The game doesn't want you snapping the thumb.
Oh, Scraffy going out slightest bit wide. Is that a slowdown? He might have to yield here. Scraffy's going to have to yield. Black Wildcats got the inside line. Scraffy not making it easy again. Cutting Black Wildcats off.
I'm gonna get fucking RSI with this fucking controller, I reckon, one day.
Well,
This is intense stuff from these two.
Invest in a
Professional
wheel, mate,
drivers.
Now, I've got a
Scraffy
wheel,
going out wide, replicating what Black Wildcats did last lap. No side-by-side contact this time around. This is looking closer and closer to having an accident here. I don't want to see it, but it's looking highly likely. Now these drivers are going to make contact. Scraffy shouldn't be blocking this earlier on. He shouldn't be blocking. It is more of a last 2-lap thing. He can set his car as wide as possible, but Black Wildcat's going to send it down the inside once again, and he should get it done. Should get it done, but now Scraffy he's chucking it down the inside.
Says my potential's a 57 too.
But
wow,
he got
makes
bogged
sense,
down a
yeah.
little bit through the
Yeah,
mid
my
corner.
potential, they say 56, 7, 1.
Jesus.
So usual, Pointy is out in front blazing with 57 lap time pace. We got Morningstar Mike in P2. So he's trying to bring the points deficit within a reasonable count heading in the last round. Black Wildcats ahead of Scraffy in 3rd. And then Scraffy 4th. Exo in 5th. 9 seconds down the road from Scraffy. Angry in 6th. And something's happened to Birch here because he sees himself in P7. We'll go back on board with this battle here, but it seems like the gaps are starting to extend within these three. But at the moment, this is the best possible viewing to see it all. On board with Scruffy, going a bit too aggressive with the curb use. He's going to try gain some ground through the mid-sector. So it seems as though Black Wildcats is
Marty,
slightly
extra, you only got
struggling
11
through this
seconds.
section.
Oh, settle down.
So we've got no close gaps, so this is the
Now you
closest.
got me looking in my rear view mirror. Fucking hell.
Don't look in the mirror.
Gaining ground. May not look like it, but based on the numbers, he's gaining ground in Scruffy. Definitely got a lot of screen time this race. And last race, if you didn't see it. He came out of nowhere at turn 6. Punched his way up in the P5. We'll see how Pointy's tracking. And he's got a lap car in Birch, I think. Yep, so Birch is going to have to pull aside. And I think he's going to do it down the main straight. Not going to lose too much time. So
2
Pointy,
seconds out of that lap. Look
Pointy
out.
down the inside. Getting that done easy. We'll go back on board with Scruffy, who doesn't seem to be.
I actually wanted to come six.
So the
because I
race
would've
is
come
officially
six every
done.
Race, so 666.
So your finishing order: Pointy P1,
Been,
Morningstar Mike in P2, Black Wildcats P3, Scruffy
Well done,
P4, EXO in P5,
That was fun.
Angry
What night are you
P6,
guys doing with
and
touring
Birch P7. And we also have Chapo
Wednesday
P8, who
Wednesdays.
got disconnected in qualifying 3, so unfortunate for him, he couldn't get back in because he was under the 3-minute mark. So we'll still offer him points.
You guys got daylight savings every night.
Yeah.
Good racing from the guys tonight.
Like 3:30 here, 2:30, 4:30
We'll see
here.
Machapo join there.
Oh, wow.
Disconnected again, but
Good race,
there's your
bro.
finishing order.
I'm Pointy.
So-
Well done, Mike.
Well done, Pointy, for a clean sweep of the event, and we see Scruffy, the first driver, out of contention,
I got one spot in front of Black.
but
Good man.
he didn't quit without a fight, so
That first
good to see.
episode.
Oh, man.
And
Redemption.
basically, everyone else that you see on
How did
screen
you not,
is a
you
realistic
gave you half a lap
chance for
less
championship
fuel?
glory
Yeah,
and
yeah,
into
well,
round 4 next
Yeah,
weekend.
I put it for.
So,
my mistake,
we'll
I
return
put
the
it for
lobby.
23,
Yeah.
but because I stretched out.
And I'll see if I can get the unofficial leaderboards up on screen.
Redlining.
So you really, yeah.
I was chewing through the juice.
So,
Yeah.
But you know
get you
what?
through
It's
here.
racing.
That's racing.
I
Good
couldn't
race.
believe it.
So, good racing from the guys tonight.
The pits, I thought, oh,
Scruffy tried everything he could.
20
Cheers for that
seconds.
racing, gents. See you
Yeah, it was
next
Hey,
good.
well
race.
done, Pointy. Good racing, Pointy. Nice laps, mate.
Cheers, mate.
See you guys.
See you,
Clear.
boys.
So, by the seams
you
of
know
it,
what? If I had changed the pit strategy, 'cause
I
it
won't
left
be
the
able to
bearing on,
show the points
I
up on
reckon I would've
screen.
got out
So,
probably
Yeah,
about the same
but
spot.
earlier.
obviously, your championship leader is
Yeah.
Pointy. He
'Cause like I
extended
said, I
his
think I
lead
had
by
shit
a
in my
fair
head,
bit,
engine
I'd say.
damage At that point,
Oh,
So,
it didn't need to be repaired.
we'll have a
No,
look
I
at the
always turn off
results.
Yeah.
Turn off the engine,
I-
turn off the gearbox, and just fix maybe the aero.
I'll get back to the scene, main scene, and I forgot the first screenshot, so if you didn't join us for the first race, Pointy in first, Angry second, Chapo third, Mike fourth, EXO fifth, and Scruffy in sixth.
Fun.
So
Oh,
we'll
good.
go
He
to
come flying through.
capture gallery,
Fucking flying through.
and we'll have a
did,
look at the unofficial
did your
results.
trick, Mike, sort of
So
swung out
Squeezed
and
it.
turn in
Yeah.
turn one, and put us both into the fence again.
Here we go.
Mike was full of tricks tonight. Let me
Race
bloody
2
tell you.
results.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
performance
but were
by
they good
Pointy.
ones?
Clean sweep
That
the
was
whole
fucking-
round.
Fucking wicked.
Chapo second, Birch
I'll
third.
have to watch.
Black Wildcats
didn't save
fourth,
that second
Scraffy
replay. I hope
fifth,
some-
Exo
Meadow
Well,
had it.
jump on
Morningstar
Meadow
Mike
Man's YouTube channel.
seventh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Angry
Oh,
in
so
it'll
eighth.
be-
I was actually
it'll all
watching
be up there
the
now.
YouTube channel.
We'll
watching the
go
race, and it's,
to
it's
round
good.
3 results.
Yeah, it's
for
bloody awesome.
Race 3.
Really
So
good
Pointy
commentary.
first once again.
Yeah.
Morningstar
Yeah,
Mike
the
keeping
commentary
that
was good. I was
points
actually,
deficit in hand heading into the last round.
Good.
Black Wildcats
Race two
third,
results.
and Scraffy
yeah,
fourth.
I'll tell you what,
Didn't
Scrappy
go
had a
down
good
without a
race.
fight in Scraffy,
He did.
but
He
he
did.
sees himself out of championship contention. But
I was-
he's-
I was
all he's
watching
got
it
now to
from,
race for is
from
pride,
the live stream, is he
and I'm
did
sure he's
everything
going to be
he
doing that next week. Exo on
He
fifth,
got that start real
Angry
well.
and sick.
He got that start really
Yeah,
well.
Birch in seventh,
really good.
and
had. So I
the
think-
Chapo will
I
be
think
in
he
eighth.
picked it up
So
perfectly this time.
that will
Yeah.
conclude the stream tonight. Very good
Wednesday,
racing
lads.
from the guys,
Wednesday.
and next
not
week
this- not this Wednesday.
we'll have a look at next week.
I got a week off. Okay, cool.
Next week
Yeah.
we'll be
And so we're
racing
gonna
at
get some
Alton Park
numbers for that,
Fosters, so a very
it's a
technical
teammate,
circuit, and it's a very narrow one
series as
too.
well.
So there's going to be a lot of
I'm
rubbing
away for the next couple of
action
weeks. Ricky,
coming in
Ricky,
next
I'm
week.
happy to,
So
team up with you.
it's
if
a
you
massive championship
Yeah, for sure,
fight
mate.
coming in the
Great.
final
Just let
round.
us know what car you want, and
The
I'll fix it
usual-
all up.
The usual business. We've
I'll have a
got
look
3
at that
10-minute
and
qualifying sessions
pick
next
something
week,
up,
Be
mate.
aware I'm
but
away
the-
for the next couple of weeks.
the
so-
sprint
Ah,
race
we'll
lap
next
totals
we'll
changed. It's still
So
25
that'll be
kilometre
what, you'll be
distance at
back on
each,
the
but they are 9 lap
second
races
Wednesday
in
or
each
third
of those,
Wednesday.
and the weather will be what it is for that Sunday
Where are we?
at Alton
Come
Park.
on, it's Sunday. Don't
So-
make us work too hard.
We'll find out
hang on,
No,
in
that's-
due
hang
time,
on.
see what the
I
weather is,
forgot the date.
and
Yeah, the
we'll
date.
give you indication
So it's,
starting
so
the
12,
live stream next
13th
Sunday on
next
what the weather will
Sunday.
be.
and then the 20th.
So I'll be Metamon
Sunday.
and I'll see you
this week.
in the next live stream next Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time.
But I might be back on
For then,
tonight.
in between then,
First two.
you can have a look at the
First.
previous
the-
rounds if you
the
haven't
six-
done
what,
so.
missed the six-
I've been
missed the 16th
quite
and the 23rd, or
quite crackers.
Yeah, on the 23rd.
Couldn't get
Yeah,
the
you
first
can do it.
round unfortunately,
I think
so
it was the 16th.
you'll have to
can
watch the
work
second
it-
round.
we
That's
can
all we
work
got
it
available.
when
So
you come back as well. We can.
that
don't
will
have to
conclude
start
this
2
stream,
weeks. We
and
can-
I'm out.
No, it's all
Bye,
right.
guys.
Don't
There's
hold me.
plenty-
Mate.
there's plenty-
My
there's
my
plenty-
word.